Welcome on the next video on Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This is useful for the BA final year students of English literature. It belongs to paper 1, Poetry and Drama. I am Dr. Vinita Bhadoria, Associate Professor of English in Government College, Behrod. In the previous videos, I have given an account of introduction regarding Tennyson and his poem Ulysses, which is prescribed in your course. This is a poem written in the aftermath of a close friend's death, Arthur Hallam. Tennyson attempted to come to terms with the loss, taking one of the most famous characters from one of the most famous stories ever told, Ulysses. It was also known as Odyssey in Greek literature, from Homer's epic The Iliad and the Odyssey, and repurposes the story to fit Tennyson's themes. The story of Ulysses is perhaps most famous for the kidnapping of Helen of Troy and the effort of Ulysses and his men to take her back from the Trojans. Homer's story involves the Trojan horse, the Cyclops, and Ulysses' effort to make it back home to reach his wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus. This is the brief history of the work written by Homer, Odyssey. And this is the historical background of this poem also. Ulysses, written by Tennyson. In little profits that an idle king by this still hearth, among these barren cracks, matched with an aged wife, I mate and dole unequal laws unto a savage race that hoard and sleep and feed and know not me. I cannot rest from travel, I will drink life to the lees. All the time I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone on shore, and when through scudding drifts the rainy heads vex the dim sea, I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least, but honored of them all. Ulysses. Ulysses, the name of soldier who has taken part in the Trojan War, and when after years he returned to his kingdom, he is idle because his son Telemachus was ruling over his kingdom. So he is an idle king that time. It presents the only speaker of the poem. It is a dramatic monologue. Ulysses saying about his present state of affairs, of his idleness. It also reflects his mental condition. He has nothing to do, everything is savage for him. He might be old, but his spirit is still the young. Ulysses. Ulysses does not want to pass his time in stately affairs, correcting the savage race of his nation. He has a long way in front of him. He said, I cannot rest from travel. He wants to travel again and again. I will drink life to the lees. I want to live the whole life very lively. All times I have enjoyed greatly. What times I have, I want to enjoy it as I suffered greatly, but with those people who are the part of that war with him. he wants to spend his life. He has a long way in front of him. To stop for a moment equals death for him. If he stops himself, he will die. He wants to drink the wine of life to the finale. He is an embodiment of indomitable courage. There is a satisfaction for him while he struggles for his desire to seek beyond the capacity of men. He has become famous in other nations. He says, myself not least, but honored of them all. So, in other words, we can say the opening two lines and a half suggests that the speaker is observing an ideal king. Ideal is khali, without work, and it's only when the rest of line there is the first person is revealed. This is Ulysses himself bemoaning the fact that he's stuck at home. That and drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringing plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch wherethrough gleams that untravelled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. How dull it is to pause, to make an end, to rest unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little, one and of one to me. Little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence. Something more, a bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 sons to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit, earning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought. In this section of the stanza, Ulysses puts light on his past. Previously, he, along with his peers, has fought bravely and gathered experience. It seems to him that the more he knows, the more his hunger for knowledge grows. He can see the gleams and untraveled world before him, unmoved, untraveled, unmoved. It makes him remind of the endless sea of knowledge of which he is fond of, to gain knowledge, new knowledge. It is dull to stop and the voice. Voice is Samudri Yatra of life when the sea of knowledge constantly calls Ulysses to start again. He is well aware of the fact that he is old, yet in his heart he knows being old is just a thought of mind. He is like a sinking star that still has its light left in him. He wants to make use of the light of his soul to seek knowledge which is beyond the utmost bound of human thought. This old man has a long way to go. This is my son, my own Telemachus, to whom I leave the sceptre and the easel, well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence to make mild a rugged people, and through soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, descend not to fail in offices of tenderness and pay meet adoration to my household gods when I am gone. His work, his work I mine. Remember, Ulysses is the only speaker in the full poem because it is a dramatic monologue. So here he talks about his moral duty. After reading this section, it becomes clear although he was a spiritual urge, who? Ulysses, to undertake an adventure, he never forgets about the things left behind. He has given his duties in the right hands. Whom he has given his duties? He has given his duties to his son Telemachus. His son Telemachus is most blameless and does his common duties decently. So there is no way of judging Ulysses as a romantic hero. He had a Greek zeal burning inside his Victorian embodiment. Before leaving for the endless and the last voyage of his life, he in this way leaves everything in order. He never wants to be an example of an irresponsible king of his nation. The poetic persona wants to be a name that will be a source of courage to the world. Here I discuss 3 stanzas of the poem. Rest of the poem I'll discuss in the next video. Thank you.